Hello students, in this video we will introduce you to the chapter Rise of Nationalism in Europe. So in this video we will try to understand the meaning of the concept of nation, and we will try to get an overview of the changes which this rise of nationalism in Europe, all the changes which this rise of nationalism uh, created in the 19th century Europe. So, first of all, let us try to understand what is a nation. So, uh, today we know that all the countries in the world are organized on basis of nationality. You know, there is India, Indians live in India, Pakistanis live in Pakistan, French people live in France, and so on. But and we also know that this sense of nationality leads to very strong emotions. You know, you must have seen India Pakistan cricket matches, and anytime there is slight disturbance on the border and all the Indians and all the Pakistanis are up against each other, we also have seen in the Indian national movement how strong emotions were evoked, that people even laid down their lives, they went to jails, and whatever heroic things they did, all that was because of those very strong emotions that were evoked by the sense of nationality, by Indian nationality. We also call it Indian national movement. So this idea of nationality is not limited to India or Pakistan. We have also seen in recent times that in America, Donald Trump managed to become the president on the slogan "Make America Great Again." So this slogan resonated with all the Americans, and you know, they all of them voted to him. So this idea of, you know, nationalism and all the strong emotions it evokes, it is present all around the world, and it is so much so that we all start to take it for granted. You know, as if we all feel as if that this idea of nations has existed forever since time immemorial. And you know, all obviously countries and nations mean the same thing, this is how we feel. But the thing is that it wasn't always like this. In the past, there were territorial empires. Empire is the key word, which were ruled by monarchs. So, what were these territorial empires like, and how it all changed? When did nationalism emerge? It emerged in Europe, and it emerged in the 19th century, which is just 200 years ago. So, the idea, we can see that the concept of nationalism is a very recent concept. So, let us try to see what were the changes which happened in the 19th century Europe. So, at that point of time, there were multinational dynastic empires in Europe. What nationalism did was it displaced these multinational dynastic empires with a modern state, and it further transitioned to a nation state. So, first of all, let us try to understand what was a multinational dynastic empire. We will understand what a multinational dynastic empire was in our next video. So for now, you can just know that there was these kind of empires present in Europe, and then came modern state. What was a modern state? So it had a centralized power. So unlike in those dynastic empires, so those dynastic empires had a lot of fiefdoms, and there were very small petty lords who ruled over these fiefdoms. And king was, you know, sort of just above those lords, but the real power was executed by these lords. So in a modern state, the king started exercising the true sovereign control. Sovereign control means absolute power, and the these lords were almost negated or terminated, and there emerged very clearly defined territories. So previously, uh, all these empires had a very hazy frontiers between each other. So that was replaced by, you know, what we know today, that boundaries of countries are very clearly delineated. Like there is Pakistan on one side and there is India, and the boundary is very clear. So it was not so before. It was very hazy that this is your area, this is mine, but exact boundary was not known at that time. And then the further nationalism, pushed things further, and modern state transitioned to a nation state. So what was a nation state? In that, in a nation state, the majority of citizens, developed a sense of common identity. So previously, a country was identified by the king, that who is the king of this country. So, and the, more, rather than a country, who is the king of, who is the emperor of this empire. So emperor or ruler was what defined a country. But now uh, that changed, and a country was determined by the nationality, which is the majority of citizens who had a sense of common identity. So let us look more into it. What do I mean by a sense of common identity? So these people, this majority, developed a large scale solidarity. Solidarity means, a sense of bonding with each other. So again, this sense of common identity, this solidarity came from this sense of common identity. We all, share something in our identity, and with a shared history. So, like we Indians, we say we share a history. We were all ruled by King Ashok at one point of time, or we were all ruled by British at one point of time. So this is a shared history or shared descent. Like we say, we all have descended from Aryans. So the Aryans were our ancestors. So this again gave us a sense of common identity. So all this led to this idea of nation. But one thing needs to be understood is that this sense of commonness did not exist from time immemorial. So it evolved in that 19th century period in Europe. So how did it evolve and why did it evolve? It evolved, it was forged through struggles. And it led to the creation of a social capital. So what do I mean by that? What are the struggles which through which I mean, and what exactly is the social capital? So the social capital is the common glory. It is like a treasure that we had in the past. So we, as we say in India, that we had Ayurveda and yoga in India. So that is a sort of treasure that we all Indians share. So that is some sort of a social capital. And while common glory is of the past, there is a common will in the present. So like all Indians have a common will to eradicate poverty and corruption from the country. We have this strong sense of willpower that we will eliminate all this. So this is in the present, and then there is a wish to perform still more together as a people. So, like India has this aspiration to become a superpower one day, or a superpower in at some point of time in the 21st century. So that is a something related to future. So this social capital has something in it related to all past, present, and future. So, apart from this, another feature of the nation is that a nation never has any real interest in annexing any other country against its will. So, like India is a nation, and India also has a very small country, very small neighbor, like say Nepal as its neighbor. So India would never annex Nepal. Why? Because Nepalese people are different people. They have their own nationality. They have their own country. Indians are different. We consider them as foreigners. All right. So or instead of Nepalese, let us say Chinese. Chinese people are foreigners. So India would never, can never say, Indians can never say that Indians and Chinese are same, belong to same nationality. So they will always be a different country. It is very different from what used to happen in the past, when an emperor would always be looking for opportunities to expand, to wage some wars, and to win some more territory and create, expand his or her territory to as far as possible. So that is not how a nation works. A nation keeps itself limited to whatever territory it is already having, and where it is more than territory. It is more defined by people who are living in the nation. So in this chapter, in the forthcoming videos, what we will see is we will see the diverse processes through which nation states and nationalism came into being in the 19th century Europe. So that would be it for this video. Before leaving, I would like to give you all an assignment that before watching the next video, please read the introduction of the NC of this chapter, Rise of Nationalism in Europe, from your NCRT textbook. That is a very good introduction, and it would give you a very good insight. After you complete that introduction, you can start the next video. Thank you very much.